Hey, what's up, Shrinkkeepers, and welcome back to my channel. So today we actually is very honored to actually have Baron here with Satan Streams, and we can actually see his car over here. You know, Neil's car actually have this logo over here. I think that's really awesome. Baron, thank you for joining us here today at Satan Streams shop.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Obviously, we've had a few encounters now with Neil. I've learnt loads from that. So when he said you were here, couldn't miss the opportunity.
Right. So I think let's go directly into the shop and take a look what he does have. Let's go. Wow. Okay, so over here we actually can see there's quite a bit of tanks. So Baron, maybe you want to share with us your stream journey.
Thanks. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, so the whole hobby kind of came together over a few years.
Okay.
Obviously first started with freshwater tank, a bunch of different species that I played with over the years. And initially was put off of the hobby by people that didn't know enough of the hobby. Eventually got in contact with someone that was quite knowledgeable.
Right.
Guided me, taught me obviously the parameters, and helped me out with my first setup.
I see.
And I started with the Sakuras, the neocaridinas.
Right.
And carried on with them with no intention of breeding, just keeping them with the fish. And eventually there were so many of them in the tank that I actually had to get rid of some of them.
Okay, that's good, that's good.
And that was essentially the starting point.
Okay.
The interest just grew and grew from there.
So I think today you brought some of your friends over as well together.
Yes.
So you came along with your friends. Maybe you want to introduce them?
Yes. So this gentleman over here, his name is Reino, and that is Tian, his older brother. So I obviously started initially on my own, and after talking to them about the hobby, my experiences, everything that I've learnt and how I've grown, they decided they would like to join me.
Right.
And from there, we just kind of kept on going. Started obviously with the Sakuras, then we started with the yellows or the 24Ks.
Right.
And now recently, thanks to Neil, we've got the chocolates, we've got the blue dreams and the blue jellies.
Right.
So that's where we are currently.
Okay. So maybe one question is, with your current setup and things like that, and then what you have seen in Neil's shop and some of the videos that's been posted for South Africa, what are you guys actually planning to do, your next step?
So I would say our next step is definitely to move to the Caridinas.
Okay.
Obviously, I feel like when you start the hobby, like with anything, you kind of first need to test the waters to see if it is for you.
Right.
And I feel like Neos are definitely the best place to start. Obviously, financially, it's not that intense if you do lose them compared to the Caridinas. And it gives you a lot more room to make mistakes in the beginning.
Right.
And now I feel like we've made all the mistakes, learned from them, and obviously now we've got the guidance of Neil. So I think we're ready to start with the Caridinas.
Caridinas, okay. Yeah. So what made you want to switch over from new Caridinas, other than, you know, it looks nice and it's more expensive, but there's a lot more investment involved in terms of, you know, you have to have a special tank for them, you got to plan properly. So what is the trigger point that make you, is it a challenge or?
I would say challenge is a very big thing.
Okay.
Generally, myself and both of them are built for a challenge. If things get boring, tend to lose interest. So naturally, the next step is to take on the more difficult species.
Right.
So it's challenge, and then obviously how they look. The variety in the Caridinas is vast. I mean, even just Neil's setup, but all of our wives get very nervous when we come.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it because you gotta like pay more?
Yes.
Okay, you gotta spend more.
Yes, we just want to buy more when we leave Neil's place.
Okay, okay. So in terms of, do you get like any plants? Do you put any plants or things inside your tank?
Yes. I personally love putting plants in. That is because I still think of it as a hobby.
Right.
So trimming it, looking after the plants, obviously if there's a problem with the plants, sorting that out.
Right.
I also just feel it looks a lot more natural if there are plants in.
Yeah, I actually see this setup over here, you know, really nice, this plant setup. where you can actually, I think that's new setup, right? So you actually have this over here. I think that's really awesome. So maybe you want to share with us, maybe the last question, share with us, you know, from a Caridina perspective, like you want to move over to Caridinas. What do you project, or what do you forecast or envision yourself in terms of, or you guys, in terms of the number of racks or the number of tanks or the number of species that you wish to achieve?
I feel like that's a trick question. How many are there? I don't feel like there's ever a limit. I would have all of them if I could.
Okay.
I've made it very clear to my wife and said it to various people already. The next place that I buy or move into will have its own shrimp place.
Shrimp room.
A shrimp room, and not a very big one, the largest possible.
Okay, so this video you're gonna show it to your wife.
Yes.
Okay, so for those people who are actually coming into this hobby, who are brand new, who hasn't kept any streams before, who wants to dabble into like new Caridinas, what are maybe one very important thing that you would like to share?
I would say you have to find the right mentor.
Okay.
That for me is the biggest thing, because you can do your own research and yes, you can get far, but if you don't have someone to physically guide you and say rather do this instead of that,
right,
the financial outlay for one is going to be far higher, and secondly the amount of mistakes that you're going to make is also going to be higher. So just, I think also you get a certain kind of confidence in your abilities, knowing that you've got someone to stand behind you to say, okay, cool, if it went wrong, this is why. Or this should be your next step.
Exactly. I think that's very important, and that's something lacking in terms of, because not everybody will want to help everybody. And that's where I think the hobby couldn't grow. And with this, we can actually see that with a good mentor, I think the whole entire industry and the whole hobby will actually grow much better. So I think that's a very good point, a very valid point as well. So any last words before we end this video?
Just again, thank you very much for your guys' time. Obviously, Ben being from Singapore, it's not an opportunity you get often. Neil will definitely be seeing more of us in the months to come. But thank you very much for your guys' time and opportunity.
No problem. So thank you guys for watching this video. For those who like this video, please remember to give a thumbs up. And for those who are new, please remember to subscribe to this channel. And until next time, peace out.